Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's virtual panel discussion on a topic that is rapidly shaping the future of technology. Now, the importance of machine learning for software developers. We are living in the time of unprecedented technological advancement, and machine learning and artificial intelligence are no longer just buzzwords. They are becoming essential tools in almost every industry in today's time. From healthcare to finance, entertainment to manufacturing, machine learning is transforming how we approach problems, how we build solutions, and how we deliver our values. Now, for software developers particularly, this entire shift presents both an exciting opportunity and a challenge. The opportunity to leverage cutting edge technologies to create smarter, more adaptive, and applications, and the challenging of keeping up with the evolving landscape where traditional programming skills are converging with the data science and AI driven approaches. Now, today, our panel of experts will explore why machine learning is becoming an indispensable skill for software developers, how they can incorporate it into their projects, and what this means for their career growth and development. We'll dive into the increased adoption of ML across industries and the new applications of artificial intelligence and neural networks, and how developers can make informed decisions about using existing ML models and frameworks in their work. We'll also discuss the current market, demands for machine learning skills and the supply gap in the industry, and how developers can strategically position themselves to stay competitive in this evolving space. I'm actually so thrilled to be joined by an incredible panel of industry leaders who bring a wealth of experience and insight into these topics. They've seen the firsthand how machine learning is transforming the entire software development landscape, and today they'll share their knowledge to help guide us through the key trends and opportunities that lie ahead. Without further ado, let's do a round of introduction for our panelists. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sridhar Durga, who is the Senior Vice President, Data and Analytics Practices, Citius Tech. Sridhar, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. I lead data analytics and Gen AI at a large healthcare technology company. And traditionally, healthcare has been one of the most conservative places for digital innovation because of the human impact and the risks associated. But all of that changed post COVID. So I came to this industry thinking it's one of the slowest spaces to be in, but now we are in the midst of massive transformation. So it's great to be here. Thank you so much for including me.
Thank you. I have Amit Mitra, who is Director Consulting from CGI.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Feeling great to be here in this panel discussion. And just a bit about me. I've just completed 20 years in CGI. Sounds pretty difficult task to do, but before that, I started my career 5 years back before joining CGI, and I changed 5 companies. Then I was thinking probably I'll be a little more stable and stay in a company for a little longer. I never realized it would be 20 years. Right. So, yeah, I was introduced to machine learning, AI, and all these almost 10 years back. And since then, I've been working in that. I've built 2 products. One is a conversational AI product and a platform, complete platform. Another is a generative AI, multi-layered generative AI platform. So that's what I do. I'm product manager. As of now, product manager for both the products. And I also lead innovation for the financial services industry in CGI. That's a little bit about me. And Sukriti reminded me you need to tell a little bit more about that. So I am a keen wildlife enthusiast. I roam around the jungles of India, and I love filming those. I've done some films on social and wildlife aspects. So that's me.
Thanks, Amit. I have Sangeeta Yanamadar, who is the Vice President of Engineering, Research and Development, OpenText.
Thanks, Sukriti. So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sangeeta. I lead engineering for analytics, legal tech, and cybersecurity enterprise space in OpenText. This is my 9th year at OpenText. Overall, I've got more than 2.5 decades of experience with diversified experience with respect to the technologies that I worked on, the roles that I played, and the domains that I worked on. Uh, Overall, if we see, I am exposed to this analytics and AI space in the last 5 years, and I can say this is an ocean by itself, and the learning has been great so far.
Thank you, Sangeeta. And I have Pradeep Sriram, who is the head of engineering from Gnani AI.
Hi, Sukriti. Yeah, it is Gnani.ai. So I have totally 14 years of experience, worked with corporates, and then last about 6, 7 years I've been working with startups. I did my own startup, and then I work with startups now. I'm a newbie in Gnani, newbie to the entire ML AI space. Uh, so yeah, that's about me. Outside of the work, I kind of use astrology to predict technology. So that's something that I love doing. So yeah, that's about me, Sukriti.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that was a very interesting piece that we have got from all of you. Apart from your professional journey as well as your establishments, what else is something that excites you? Now, before we get started, I would encourage you to participate actively, ask your questions, share your thoughts in the chat, and make the most of this opportunity to learn from our experts today. We'll open the Q&A forum in the last 10 minutes to pick up the relevant questions. Now, let's begin. So, Amit, I would like to know from you that we've seen a rapid increase in the adoption of machine learning across various industries. Now, can you share some, examples or references of industries that are leading the way in ML adoption and why?
Definitely. Very good question and a very good topic to start our discussion. I have a couple of examples, but since Sridhar is with us, I'll leave those examples aside. He will probably give us more insights into the healthcare domain. But one example, definitely, I would love to bring it here from one of our healthcare clients, where we had managed to detect brain hemorrhages, and the accuracy level was 98%, right? So that's something is definitely saving lives, right? We do business. We, every one of us, we do business. We make savings. We give savings to our clients. We create revenues for our clients. But this is something where if we are able to save human lives, nothing more than that, right? That's a very fulfilling achievement. What a machine learning engineer or a data science engineer can contribute to the society by doing his job, right? So that's just one example. Let me give you a couple of more examples. Like for one of our clients, they run a very large photovoltaic farm, right? Those long solar panels and all those. So we sometimes these solar panels, they don't work properly, right? And going there, finding out, and then fixing it, it's a long process. Okay, so what we did, we said, okay, we'll do it in a very short span of time, right? Maybe if I have thousands and thousands of solar panels, and probably if we want to do it manually, it will take probably a couple of days or probably a couple of weeks at least, okay, to inspect each of those. So we sent some drones, a series of drones we sent, and they, while those drones were flying, they took pictures of each of these uh, solar panels, okay, and then we did a thermal imaging, and then from there, through computer vision, we detected this has got a little problem, this has got a little scratch, this has got some dirt on it, this has got this looks discolored, this has got a crack. Okay, so those kind of things, it's now have become very easy. Now you can imagine the scale of this work, right? The scale of this work, it was very long. Probably we have seen, all of us have seen the how large these solar farms are, right? Thousands and thousands of solar panels are there. Now you can do it in half an hour, maybe probably setting up the drones and getting the data, it takes 1 hour. And the machine learning models, the computer vision models, they detect within milliseconds, right? And we can also predict by looking at, okay, this has a problem, this doesn't have a problem today, but in couple of weeks or couple of months, this might develop that problem. Okay, those predictions also have become very easy now. Okay, so this is another example. Um, I'm mostly I work with the financial services clients, right? So I'll give you a couple of examples in the insurance and banking industry and all. Now, as we progress with all these digital payments, a lot of frauds every day in newspaper we see all these frauds are happening, right? So it's a very common use case, and it's been in practice for many years now, and the algorithms have become very aggressive in finding the frauds. Okay, within a fraction of a second, when the transaction has happened, somebody might have used my credit card somewhere in Bahamas or in Bali. It detects and it alerts and it blocks the frauds, right? So those things happen very fast nowadays. Now earlier these were problems. Now this has become very easy to detect these frauds nowadays. Now that's from the banking industry. Now if we move on to the um, insurance industry, right? So earlier, let's say you have scratched your car, okay, then you have to um, fill up the claim form. You have to take a picture, take a printout, submit, and do a lot of things to get the claim from the insurance company. Now, what has happened? You just need to take a picture, go to their app, upload it. The machine learning algorithm will analyze, okay, this is the extent of the scratch, or this is the dent, and this is how much it will take to uh, fix it. Okay, this is the claim amount. The claim amount should be this, and you will get this amount of money. This is XYZ amount of money. So this has become very fast. Earlier, it would have taken a couple of days at least. Okay, now we do it as soon as I submit my picture. It is couple of seconds. I will not say even minutes. Okay, in couple of seconds it can get, if it's straightforward. If doesn't the machine learning algorithms doesn't sense any fraud or anything, then it will automatically get approved. Okay, so those kind of things have happened. Have increased nowadays, and this has made lives very easy nowadays. Okay, now couple of more examples I have, but I'm also conscious about the time. I know Sukriti have told we have to be on time. I'll take probably another minute or two. I'll quickly complete this. Okay,
Samit, I think,
now
yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
so I'll probably just give you two more examples. Yeah. Very interesting. For a very large client, what we have seen, when we uh, create something, we add a new feature, we write the code, we build the code, we put it, and then we deploy it. The deployments fail sometimes. Okay. So now you can imagine, if a deployment fails, the hassle, the work is so much to fix it. Okay. Now, what if we could tell before I deploy the build whether it's going to um, work or not, whether it's going to pass or fail. Okay, those kind of algorithms we have created, machine learning algorithms. So I pass the build through that algorithm. Okay, and the algorithm tells me, out of these 2,500 deployments we are going to do this month, maybe 2% are problematic. Please check those in these 5 areas, right? So those things make life very easy. And my favorite, and the last one, I'm a product manager for a conversational AI platform, right? So we deployed a conversational AI for a very large telecom company, 90,000 plus business users. They get support from our bot. Okay, that's something we have done maybe 2.5 years back. And recently, we did a similar deployment for Government of India's Atal Innovation Mission. If you go to Atal Innovation Mission's website, you will find our bot is there. Okay, so you can ask a lot of things about the innovation mission, how India is doing and what are the things are happening. So, and this is connected to 10,000 schools in India. So the scale is very large, and all the kids, the teachers, they every day they ask to this work. Right? So there are various ways machine learning, AI, all these are helping us in different industries. Okay, the list is endless. The examples, what I've told you, not even the tip of the iceberg. Okay, if I start giving all the examples, others will not get time to talk. So I'll stop now. I'll give others the mic. Let's go ahead.
Thanks, Amit. It's very interesting to see how from the smallest of bit, the entire machine learning process is being involved into various industries. I'll move to Pradeep now. Pradeep, please help us understand with the rise of neural networks and deep learning, of course. What are some of the most exciting new applications of AI that you're seeing today? And how do these applications push the boundaries of what software developers can actually achieve?
Right. Uh, I mean, Amit gave so many great examples of pattern detection. I mean, if you looked at traditional machine learning, right, the time it was introduced, it was either a classification model or a prediction model, and largely you can just classify it to two categories. Right now, with the rise of neural networks, now the possibilities are like it's exploded. I mean, we are you speak to any VC, I mean, Y Combinator or Excel, everybody is talking about this is the next internet. The capabilities almost of the next internet. So what this explosion or the advancement of neural network has done is access capabilities, right? So you can easily touch and feel. Earlier, machine learning used to be a field that only experts could understand because the terms were different. The traditional engineering is different. The traditional engineering languages are very different. I mean, the developer language that we speak, it's very different from the machine learning. But what the a lot of advancement in the neural network has done is it has given access to every single person, even without having a deep knowledge, and you can probably build from there on. So some of the use cases that I have seen, which I felt was very innovative, was Swiggy does automatic image generation. What happens is when you have a lot of restaurants getting onboarded, and you don't have all the images when at the same time when the restaurant registers and the images are getting uploaded, and some of them don't even upload. So today, what Swiggy is able to do is generate images at scale, because the kind of number of restaurants that gets generated is like tremendous, right? So that is one of the interesting use case that I have seen. But I think this explosion is mostly into NLP. At least the initial 1-2 years explosion, the innovation that has happened is in NLP. And the next thing that I'm predicting that will happen is in voice, because Gnani.ai is a voice pioneer. We know how this works. We have been doing this for quite some time now. And what we believe is what you see today is text to text. So I type something, I get something back. The future will be I speak, and then and the machines are going to speak back, right? And I think that is how I see the next set of things going on. And we are building such products in Gnani.ai. One such will be a voice platform where any SME, any business can come, they can spin up a voice bot and drive automation, drive innovation. Because at voice, the kind of automation that you can do is tremendous, right? Because we humans are known for our thinking ability, respond, to throw off a hat or the split second, and when that gets transformed to machines, I think that's where the magic is going to happen. So this is where software developers have to think in a very new direction. Earlier, we were just thinking of building a form, collecting data, and then giving the response, analyzing, and then giving it back. The next set of things that are going to come are going to be extremely new, and we'll have to think. We are forced to think in that direction, and the next innovation or the next level of customer experience that's going to come in is going to be coming into all of these fields. So we have also developed something like agent assist, where as you speak, agents get automatic suggestions and they're able to automatic checklists, and automatically the agents are redirected on what to do, what to be done. And then post call analytics on how do you improve conversations, and that's why we have a product called Aura. So these are some of the things that we have done. I think yeah, I think this is the way we can push our boundaries.
Thanks, Sridhar. I think with the constant evolution that is happening across verticals, there has to be a mindset of constant evolution for our learnings as well as for our career path as well, and how these innovations can actually broaden our perspective towards a better future. So I'm sure that is something that you and all the developers out there are looking at, all the decision makers are looking at. Sangeeta, I would like to move to you and understand that, of course, your piece of advice that you have for developers who want to better understand working with the existing ML models and frameworks, and how important is it to have a deep knowledge of ML versus knowing how to effectively leverage the pre-built models altogether in the market.
Okay, so very large subject. So you asked many questions, and we need to. Okay, I'll try my best. So it is always something we need to decide between build versus use something that is or leverage from the existing model. So what is key is go to market. Okay, and as Amit in his examples had already shared, so we have the applications, but the expectations from the applications is like performance, expecting the result in a second, right? So there are so many aspects that we need to really look at when we are building the AI application. And being this space being very niche, right? So all developers would like to actually build something from the scratch. But beyond building, there is a lot that we need to really look at while actually developing an AI based solution. That is nothing but how to deploy, what is the infrastructure that is needed, what all aspects to consider as part of the performance. It's a whole lot story. Okay, and what I believe is if there is some success story from the models, I think it's an opportunity to capitalize it so that we can get into the market very fast, because I think everyone would agree opportunity missed is opportunity lost, right? So it's very important. So I'll try to answer your question, okay, covering three aspects that are needed or whenever we build a AI system. So the first aspect is about the models. Yes, there are a lot of pre-trained and existing pre-built models, which are really revolutionizing the application development. In fact, if we see, they are actually trained on large corpus of data sets. And in fact, they serve as a foundational aspect for various tasks, where the patterns and also some of the features that are learned from those patterns, right? So they can be leveraged for a similar task. For instance, so Pradeep talked about few about voice recognitions. Okay, there are NLP based tasks. Okay, where some of these NLP models can be leveraged as a starting point to build some text summarization, or to build some sentiment analysis, or to build some sentence completion, depending on the use case. Basically, these are all used for customer support. And similarly, Amit also talked about one use case related to the solar panels, where image detection, object detection, and the image segmentation to really figure out where the problem is. So these are all, I think, if we leverage the existing models, like we have a model called ResNet given by Microsoft, if we leverage the existing models, the opportunity to actually build the application will be fast. Okay, so yes, there are existing models, but in case if you want to fine tune or adjust it to a particular domain, because these pre-existing models are built on large corpus of data set, if you want to customize it for a specific domain, yes, we can actually take advantage of transfer learning. Okay, that is also something we can really look at. So there are so many things that we need to look at beyond building a model. Okay, so that is the reason I think we should really look at using an existing model in most of the cases. unless and until you have that skill and muscle to build something new, not just the model, even looking at the infrastructure and other aspects. While there are so many advantages with the models, right, pre-built models, there are few things that we really need to look at while selecting a model. So the first aspect is the task on hand and also the data that you are actually using for it. So we have a product called OpenText Discovery, okay, so which actually supports all NLP based, which can be used for NLP based object detection and other things. So depending on the use case that we are trying to solve, okay, if we are actually trying to build a chatbot application, okay, where we want to really cut down the complete experience on the support ticket, yes, we will be actually using the NLP based part of the pre-trained system. So depending on the type of the use case, we really need to see which model we need to leverage on. The second is, especially we need to look at model accuracy, okay, and also the third aspect is model architecture and the complexity. So the complexity, especially with the neural networks, right? So it is measured with respect to the number of parameters that are used, the number of layers that are used, that define the accuracy, that define the speed, and that also defines the memory that is needed. So some understanding, we also need to look at this. And the fourth aspect is the model performance, especially when to actually look at precision, when to look at recall. Okay, so depending on the type of application, suppose if you are building an email spam detection model application, right? So where the goal is basically to identify as many emails as spam, okay, so that there is no room for other aspects. So those are all precision oriented. Similarly, in the case of medical imaging, so we have to look at recall. So this is also one aspect. And the next aspect we need to look at when we are actually looking at the pre-trained models is the support that is available, how frequently the model is getting updated, and the documentation that is available. Because many a times we may end up actually extending that model for a specific domain or a specific use case. So documentation is also very important. And the customizations that are possible with that model. So these are few aspects, okay, so we need to consider, especially when we are looking at the model. The journey just not ends with model development. Okay, we also need to look at how to build, how to deploy it. So that is where ML frameworks come into the picture. So depending on the problem statement and the model that we have selected, we have to really look at which model ML framework will fit in the use case. For instance, we can go, if you have the GPU infrastructure, so we can go for the TensorFlow. Or if we are actually predicting something, okay, based on the regression and other aspects, right, we can go for scikit-learn. And so we covered the model aspect, we covered the framework aspect, and the third is, yes, you have the model, you can build it, you can deploy it, but the journey just doesn't end there. We also need a mechanism where there is a constant retraining, because we keep seeing some anomalies, or we need to fine tune it with the new data. So that is where the MLOps complete framework is needed. Okay, so again, depending on what type of use case you have actually put in as part of your AI application, you can either go for AWS SageMaker, or some people, some organizations go for Selden Core, where we actually use Selden Core for deploying, though it does not for training. Or sometimes we use Apache MLflow. So it depends. Okay. So to your first question, what all we need to really consider while evaluating? Yes, these are few aspects in three different stages. First is the model development, and the second is ML framework, and the third is the MLOps thing. To your second question on, okay, how much of deep knowledge is needed? Yes. So using the pre-trained models and these frameworks, while this help in accelerating the development and getting into the market fast, there is also a different aspect that we need to look at. Our job doesn't end when we keep the system in production. Okay, there will be some issues, or there will be some performance bottlenecks. Okay, or there may be few other aspects, optimizations that we need to do. If we have to really do all those, we need to have some understanding about uh, architecture, okay, of this model. So which, when I say about architecture, how many layers are there, how many parameters can be so tuned, okay, what is the loss function. These are few aspects we need to really have a hold on before selecting the model, and this will also help, a deeper knowledge will help the developer to do a proper troubleshooting. Otherwise it would be very difficult. So I think I covered it's a large topic. I think I covered most of it. Okay. So any questions, it's fine. Look at it.
Thanks, Sangeeta. I think you've very well framed all three together and put up into several stages that actually it should come together in terms of advice, in terms of why this deep diving is important and how effectively it is supposed to be used. We'll touch base with the conventional style of software development when it comes to codes and how it has been evolved with various available tools in the market. I'll move to Shridhar now. Sridhar, how do you think is the increasing demand for machine learning skills creating new career opportunities for software developers? Also, I would like you to touch base a little about the entire generative AI space and what paths can developers actually take if they want to specialize in machine learning or AI particularly.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. So I'll first maybe frame the healthcare opportunity, where AI can transform healthcare and all our lives, and I'll talk about that question on what career opportunities it creates beyond healthcare as well. So I work for a company called Citius Tech, which is one of the largest healthcare life sciences innovation services company. We work with about 150 hospitals and medical devices companies and health insurance companies around the world. If you look at what's the big problem that healthcare is trying to solve, um, today 80 is the new 60. Means people comfortably live to 80, 85, 90 is not uncommon. um, so one, people stop earning at 50, they retire at 50, 55, they're living till 80, 85. Unfortunately, 30 is the new 60, means that at 30 people are getting diabetes, people are getting hypertension. So if you just step back and look at, in fact, United Nations calls aging as the bigger crisis than climate crisis. Why? Because in 30s, people are getting diabetes, hypertension, backache, chronic problems, and living on to 85 years. That means 60 years of your life, you are sick in some form or the other. The current model of healthcare, where you go to a hospital for getting treatment, cannot support this. We saw that during COVID, when the number of patients increased, the hospital system was the first thing that collapsed. So, the model that you go to a hospital when you are sick and you get treatment is an untenable model for the world. Why? This is why this is a bigger crisis than climate crisis. And we are seeing that in our life. We have aging parents, we have some, brother or cousin or uncle who's got a chronic condition in their 30s. The only answer to that problem at scale of supporting the world's healthcare problem is using a technology like AI and scaling that diagnosis process, scaling that treatment process by making healthcare. In fact, what we call as healthcare is actually sick care. You only go when you are sick. You don't go when you are healthy. So it's actually sick care. The whole system is designed to be sick. So if you take that as a problem statement, the only way the world can move from a reactive, expensive model where limited doctors, limited nurses exist, limited specialists exist, limited hospitals exist, to a world where world truly has proactive healthcare, preventive healthcare, much more healthier population. It can only be done through the use of analytics and AI. That model will never change. So that's the big opportunity in healthcare that we are seeing. The entire model has to be reimagined, where you at home you can monitor yourself, you can have proactive care, you have preventive care. The current system cannot do that. The only way the system will change, because only so many doctors, so many hospitals, only surgeons you can create. Only way you solve for that is by using AI for proactive care. So that's the big opportunity. Now to your other question, what are the career opportunities that AI is opening up? And this applies healthcare and beyond healthcare. I'll use another hospital analogy. If you went to one of the biggest hospital in your city, I often go to one of the hospitals in Bangalore for my parents or for my family, you'll notice a huge hospital, thousands of people are walking around, surgeries are happening, but you go and see the doctor list. It will be 25 doctors, two brain surgeons, five cardiologists, maybe four gynecologists. It'll be 25 people. That's it. These 25 people are serving thousands and thousands of patients and saving millions of thousands of lives, not lakhs. How is that happening? The same analogy applies to AI. The core algorithm is becoming more and more available, as Sangeeta rightly said, over and Pradeep also called that out. Over a period of time, you step back and look at it, the core algorithms that are doing image recognition, NLP, classification, now Gen AI, the direction is that the algorithm is becoming more and more available. But you look at the use of AI in our life, two most common examples. You walk into an airport today in India, you have Digi Yatra, you walk in, it's looking at your face, you have cut the line, you're just getting through in seconds. That's an AI miracle, but actually it's an engineering miracle. The AI part is hard, but not the hardest part. The hardest part is the engineering. How do you build the engineering in an Indian airport where people are walking up without delaying the line and protecting the security, that you walk across an engineering problem? So for every one brain surgeon, there are 1,000 opportunities that exist to support the hospital. Same thing holds for AI. AI is opening up careers for engineers to build systems that are high performance. You can have the best image recognition algorithm, but if it is not working in the airport in sub-seconds, you don't have the engineering for it, the best AI algorithm will not make Digiyatra work. The mobile app will not work. The retinal scan will not work. It's an engineering problem. It's not an AI problem. So first thing I would like to submit is that a explosion of AI is actually exploding engineering opportunities. So I would encourage people, yeah, learn AI, get certified, learn how AI is built, but worry more about how AI is applied. So that's first thing I would like to say. The second comment I would like to make is there is a huge opportunity to validate. Just take the simple example. How do you validate a chatbot? Are you going to sit and type all the combinations? And with generative AI, chatbots can build like 10 times faster than before. Is somebody going to sit all the combinations, type and see what happens? How do you know that it's adapting to the question that got asked? So there's a huge opportunity for quality analysts to rethink their jobs and say, I'm a great automation QA. How do I automate a Gen AI application? How do I automate a AI solution? Last but not the least, while this itself was big enough, we're all excited that AI is big and AI is opening careers. Then came Gen AI. I won't go into Gen AI in itself, and everybody talks about it. But only thing I would like to submit is the most powerful thing about Gen AI is that it democratizes the creation of AI. Earlier, if you had to build a NLP solution or an OCR solution or a chatbot, you needed substantial AI skills. The foundation model in some ways is a development platform. Think about GenAI as a development platform. It explodes the number of use cases. So if the opportunity AI created 10 opportunities for engineers, GenAI will create 100 opportunities for engineers. The game is an engineering game. Yeah, of course, AI is critical, but AI engineering is the game to be in. That's at least how I see it.
Actually, it's very interesting. If I look back how I started this entire conversation with the industry references and Pradeep telling us how every hour, every day, developers need to push their boundaries in terms of innovating on what they're working and, of course, improving the entire product base that they're trying to build for people. And of course, Sangeeta telling us to have better understanding and why is it important to have an effective leverage of the pre-built models that we have to have a better understanding for. And of course, you adding on to the career paths that AI will create for engineers, particularly. Now, I would like to move towards a bit of the career side and, of course, the skilling side of this entire machine learning, technology. So, Amit, I would like to move to you. And of course, please help us understand that how does machine learning open up new career opportunities for software developers? Sridhar has given us a little bit, of the AI engineering part. But beyond that, what exists across industries is something that you can help us understand, and what specific roles or specializations are emerging as a result of this growing field. Because you gave us plethora of examples, across industries. So, what is the kind of understanding that people should have?
Yep, very good question, Shukri. Thanks for that. Let me start with this. There's a little, very subtle difference between a machine learning engineer and a data scientist. Okay. Now, a data scientist mostly is trying to figure out some actionable insights from the data. Okay, and he or she is more keen on finding that one parameter which will make or break the model. Okay, or probably data scientist is a person who is closely working with the business teams, what exactly they want. Okay, so it's a very interesting growing area for software developers to learn data science. Okay, so you need to learn all these data science tools, and it's good to have some statistics background. It's good to have, if you are not from a statistics background, learn. It's not that difficult. You are not building rockets. You are just going to build some data models, right? So work on those. uh, Data scientists uh, can have a wonderful career. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to differentiate first between data scientists and machine learning engineers. Now, data scientists, they are more on getting the insights, okay, from the data, and the machine learning engineer is using that same data to build the models, put it into action, and run it. Like we have seen a lot of examples, right? Initially, all of us almost talked about all these examples. The drone example, the drone flew, it took pictures, it gave us back, and then someone was there who wrote that algorithm, okay, which analyzed each of those pictures from those thousands of pictures, which was dumped in front of this machine learning algorithm, which analyzed and told us, okay, this solar panel has a problem, this solar panel has a crack. So that's the job of the machine learning engineer. Okay, and probably if we have to take the same example, a data scientist will tell you out of those maybe 100,000 solar panels, maybe these 2% is going to have challenges in next 2 months. Okay, that's the basic difference. So both of these can become very rewarding career, and if you have already started working on the learning the new these skills to become a data scientist or to become a machine learning engineer, that's very good. If you have not started, then it's the right time to start. The good time to start is now. Okay, the fast you learn all these things, the better position you will be in next 5 years. Okay, that's where what we want to do, right? That's what we want to do. We want to learn, acquire new skills, and become proficient, and find a good job in the industry, and we want to be recognized and do all this wonderful stuff, right? So these two are definitely there. Now you have to set your goal first. If you are already into the industry, if you are already working in some projects, you need to understand that domain. If you want to become a data scientist, it's very important that you understand the domain bit. Okay, whether you are in telecom domain, or you are in energy domain, or you are in insurance or banking, or you are in healthcare domain, learn the domain. Okay, domain and data science goes hand in hand. But if you don't want to become very specific, you don't want to stick to a particular domain, then it's machine learning engineering is the way forward for you. And these will lead to different other career options like machine learning architect, cloud architect, and Sangeeta was talking about some of the cloud native tools. Those also can become a very good option. Learn something, an Amazon SageMaker or something like that. Okay, you can do a lot of things there. Now, apart from these, um, I got introduced to machine learning almost 10 years back. Okay, before that, my prior experience with automation was Excel macros. Right. So we were amazed to see how Excel macros were working. Then we got introduced to machine learning algorithms and how fast and how efficiently it can predict. Okay, and with a percentage also. This is 98% accurate. This is 78% accurate, or this is 38% accurate, like that. Okay. Then I got into the field of this natural language processing and conversational AI. So today, these technology domain has come quite far for conversational AI. Pradeep also was talking about the conversational AI, right? So today is the age of generative AI, and with that, the new kind of things that are coming up is definitely how you use the large language models, how can you use the services from Microsoft, Google, or IBM, or Amazon to create your generative AI applications. But let's not forget the good old natural language processing, right? So uh, though these might not be the very hot or extremely hot career options at this moment, natural language processing, like what we used to do earlier, maybe 15 years back, like your named entity recognition, post tagging, when we did for the first time, that was the thrill. Okay, today that thrill is gone. That might not be the case. You get the thrill out of the GenAI, but yes, these will also be there. These will also be there, right? So that's
Thanks,
the
Amit.
natural language.
I think we'll, of course, cover other aspects when it comes to the entire machine learning arena, because it's a very, very broad world that we are trying to actually talk about.
Yeah.
Pradeep, I'd like to move to you. I would like to understand that how do you think the entire rise of machine learning will impact the long-term career trajectories of software developers?
Right. So earlier the teams used to be, you have front end engineer, back end engineer, and then a DevOps engineer and analytics at best when the data is huge, right? So your team is complete. Right now, the team is not complete without AI engineer or an AI engineering skill. So, like Sridhar rightly mentioned, right? So, generative AI is the buzzword now. The reality is, not everybody can build a foundational model. That can only be built by large, very, very large players. So, what you can do as an engineer, or what we can do as engineers, is learn how to engineer that. And the basic system engineering is not going anywhere. It might You might add more AI engineering into it, which will ultimately be, system engineering is all about performance building for customer experience, and that will remain as it is. Maybe the level of experience is going to definitely change, but how we achieve that is not going to change. So might be new terms will come in, agents, co-pilots, and all that. So there are two aspects, right? One is you learn AI engineering, which is very vast, which is evolving very fast. The other is ML, generative AI ML engineering, where what happens is when you work with healthcare or fintech, there you can't use open source, or you can't use the off-the-shelf models from OpenAI or any other. So you will have to go into building your own LLM and ops and then evaluation and all that. So that's a very different field, and that's very hard. And not many people might get opportunity to work on. So I would say, from the career point of view, you want to quickly experiment, build something. Just think of a problem that you're facing, build an agent for it, so that you get the touch and feel of how it's working, and overall you will improve your engineering skills and add AI on top of it. So at Gnani, we are doing SLMs. We think it's SLMs are the future, because when you are able to run your generative AI models on your machine, right, and on a community hardware, I think that's where I see the future, and that's when the building model become more common. So if you look at traditional engineering, building an NLP model was more common, and then now generative AI, you are using the model. I think we'll go back to that maybe in some time. And yeah, that's how I think the career trajectories are. But people should focus on their core engineering skill and go from what you know to what you don't know. And yeah, I think that's how people need not worry that where will the jobs be. The jobs will be there because system engineering is hard. Generating code from generative AI is very easy. Making it work in production is very hard. So you can talk to some of the people who are doing it. So yeah, that's how I would look at the careers.
Thanks, Pradeep. I think you've actually established what I am actually going to ask Sangeeta next about the conventional and the traditional method of engineering altogether. Sangeeta, help us understand with AI tools and automation, of course, on the rise that all of us have just spoken about. Do you think machine learning will change how we build and write software? And if at all, do you think the role of developers will, this have an impact on the entire ML being integrated into everyday programming tasks?
Okay, so I think with what Amit and Pradeep covered, right, it is tough for me because they have almost covered all aspects of what is needed over there. So let me try to put it in a different way. Okay, so with AI and the tools that are available, right, it all depends on how we look at it. Okay, how we look at AI and the tools. So if we actually take AI as a friend, okay, or so we can leverage the automation and AI in completing lot of regular tasks. So for instance, so we have a product, okay, so which can actually generate based on the use case. If you give a detailed use case in the system, the product will generate all the test cases, okay, and all the code assess, all the documentation, which means some of the regular tasks that we expect every developer to do, those can be offloaded, which means there will be a lot of time, I mean to say additional time that is available for developers to relook at. So as Sridhar said, right, reimagining what we are doing. So that is what a software developer needs to do. So in fact, if we see lines of code, it is now has become the job of a mission, right? And now the developer focus is to be more creative, coming up with more creative designs, okay, and the quality assurance focus should be beyond doing the functional testing. There is a lot that we can actually look at. So if we take a step back and see, right, so the developer persona, we can wear different hats for the developer persona. If the developer persona we are talking about is a software developer building or writing the code for the program, right? AI can actually, we can take advantage of AI and tools for all the common tasks. This gives the developer to do a deeper thinking about the function of the task that the developer is doing. For instance, if the developer is building an API, so the developer can now think about, because unit testing and all of those are taken care by the code assistant tools, the developer can now think about whatever data, how to protect the data that is being sent through the API. Is there any PII that is being sent? Okay, take care of it well in advance without having a story for it. Similarly, there are opportunities. For whatever we write, we actually try to log everything. So the developer can look at a step ahead and really see from the logs, is there a pattern that we can recognize that is really a threat action? Okay, there is a lot a developer can really look at. If we take the developer persona as a QA engineer, so with the same AI and tools, right? So most of the functional testing that is needed, the test cases that are generated, all of those can be automated. Now the quality assurance team can really think about how to, if there are two applications or two services that are talking together, how we can do the regression between these two. Okay, so how we can get two or three more applications together and then do the quality assurance, covering more and more scenarios, which are usually time consuming. We can actually, that QA can focus more on those aspects. Similarly, with the support, if we take the developer person as a support engineer, with AI, right? So with all the assistants, okay, so with the summaries, we can do a search engine, okay, so wherein we can get the knowledge repository and then quickly answer the customer, I mean to say, whenever we get a support ticket. Beyond, usually this takes some time. Now we can actually look at cutting down the SLS, because the first initial steps we are actually taking help of AI. Now we can actually, the support engineer can directly get into the root cause. because the initial steps can be taken care by the AI. So, as I said, it all depends on how we look at AI and the tools that how we leverage them. So there is a lot of scope, and as Sridhar said, yes, reimagining our role is the key. Okay, to take to proceed further.
Thanks, Sangeeta. I'll probably we've spoken about the hardcore ML engineers or software developers altogether, and we've spoken how they can evolve, how they can actually look at uplifting their career. Sridhar, I would like to know from you that you spoke about the non-tech industry or the healthcare industry in particular. What advice would you give to developers working in, of course, non-tech industries where machine learning is still in the early stages of adoption? And how they can lead the way in bringing the ML, the entire, of course, machine learning arena into their companies and, of course, leverage what it is offering to them.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very interesting question. So 25 years ago, when this famous example of AI playing chess with Gary Kasparov and defeated Gary Kasparov, you go back and look at the newspaper, the prediction was that's it. Chess, now AI will defeat and the humans are finished. There is no chess without AI. But today, what has actually happened? It's a very interesting parallel. Today, if you look at it, um, today the best chess players are not the ones in who are AI bots, but the chess players who practice with AI, who use AI as a friend, are the best chess players. People who don't use AI are very bad. But AI is not beating human beings today. Same thing happened on internet. People said once internet comes, newspaper will go away. The most profitable newspaper is New York Times because they have used the internet to have better journalists. So I would say that if you're in a non-tech industry, I think your time has come. If you are a operations manager, you're a supply chain manager, you're a nurse, or you are a doctor. And by the way, in the best hospitals that I know of, most of the doctors code in Python because they would rather learn than be a doctor who doesn't know AI. So the fun thing I would say is if you are a non-tech person with generative AI and AI, the ability to apply AI is becoming easier and easier. So look for opportunities around you. AI has not beaten chess in 25 years. It's not going to beat us in home delivery or in banking or in healthcare anytime soon. But if you fight it and think that there will be a life or a role without using AI, there are no such jobs in the future. So I would say use AI, and I think that's it. That's all there is to it.
Thanks, Sridhar. I think how we started with the entire conversation in terms of bringing in some industry references, some contemporary examples of how the entire machine learning technology is being worked out to, of course, helping developers understand the entire concept of it better, and of course, understanding the importance of it because it has become a very integral part of the industry across, places that we see today. So I think thank you so much, all of you, for bringing in these amazing insights into this conversation. Now, before I go ahead and conclude the entire conversation, let's just have a look at a couple of questions that have come from the audience. So I have a question from Vikal. He says that how can AI enhance the productivity and efficiency of DevOps engineers, particularly in overcoming the blockers to achieve seamless CI/CD? Any one of you actually can take this up.
Yeah, I'll take this up. So coming to
Sure.
CI/CD, right? So we have CI and
Yeah.
CD. CI is about continuous integration and how do you keep it clean. Coming to that, there are a lot of bunch of things that are happening in the AI space, right? So one is code reviews. So you can actually automate a lot of code reviews today, though it cannot understand the logic, but the basic sanity can be done very well. And I know of a lot of tools that can even do the code reviews for security issues. So security is something that often gets ignored in the initial stage, and then nobody gets time until something bad happens. But that is one of the things that people can do. I think in the entire DevSecOps, DevOps, AI has a lot of roles to play, especially in log analyzing the logs. Right, somebody would have printed the actual server names and then username, password. Even you should look at Y Combinator funded startups. You have a lot of startups trying to solve the CI/CD and DevOps problems, where you're an on-call engineer and you got a call it's trying to predict why is the call come, and then where is the log where you need to go and look at. So these are some of the things that are happening on the CI/CD part. Yeah.
Okay, I have another question from Daniel. The question is, how does integrating machine learning into traditional software development workflows enhance the efficiency and capabilities of applications, particularly in areas like automation and predictive analytics? Sridhar,
I'll maybe
Sangeeta,
just I'll
Amit,
just
any
I'll
one
just
of you?
reinforce.
Yes,
I think
go
the
ahead.
example that I gave of DigiYatra is exactly that. It's a workflow. I mean, you look at I think Amit talked about banking. Today, when a loan gets reviewed or approved, AI is embedded in that process. So, in fact, the way to think about AI is it never works standalone. Very rarely it works standalone. It is part of some workflow, and that's how you scale it. So that's why AI is scaling, because it's getting integrated into every workflow. It's of course much more than automation, because it's evolving, learning, and improving. But it is, at the end of the day, it's extended automation.
Maybe if I can
Thanks,
add a
Sridhar.
little
In the
bit on
interest,
that.
yes, Amit. Yes,
Right.
please, go ahead.
So there is a little gap between science and science fiction. Okay. So if you see, I don't know if you have seen the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. Okay, it's a 1968 film, and the most infamous villain is a autonomous computer, an AI system called HAL 9000. It's taking all its own decisions. Like what Sita just now said, uh, that's absolutely there. AI can't work alone today. It will work. It has to work with us, with the human beings. Okay, and we are not letting it to do its own job, own way, own thinking. Right? Whatever we want, the AI will do. So you think of any challenges, any problems in your workflow that can be solved by engineering in such a way where we embed the AI there, right? So it's not always HAL 9000. It's quite far actually. There's a big gap between science and science fiction.
Thanks, Amit. In the interest of time, I don't think I'll be able to pick up any more questions. And as we wrap up today's discussion on the importance of machine learning for software developers, one thing is abundantly clear that machine learning is no longer just a specialized domain. It's becoming an integral part of the entire modern software development, as all of our industry experts have suggested. Now, we've explored how machine learning empowers developers to build smarter, more adaptive software that can analyze vast amounts of data, predict outcomes, and continuously improve performance. Now, by integrating machine learning, software developers are not just writing code, they're enabling software to learn and evolve on its own. So, today's conversation has highlighted that machine learning isn't just about algorithm, it's about creating more efficient systems, personalized user experiences, solving complex problems that traditional programming can't address as effectively. Developers who embrace machine learning are better equipped to stay relevant in the industry that's rapidly moving towards automation, AI, and data-driven decision making. Incorporating machine learning into a developer's skill set opens up new avenues, as you know, our speakers have also suggested, for career growth, from AI-focused startups to leading innovation in established tech companies. It also enhances a developer's ability to collaborate across disciplines, from data science to business intelligence, making them make more versatile and valuable in the workforce entirely. And I would really urge the software developers today to view machine learning not as an intimidating or a distant field, but as a natural extension of their current skill set. So it's a tool that allows you to create, the future, one that's more intelligent, adaptive, and responsive to the complexities of our world that we are trying to solve as engineers. Now, as I bring this conversation to this end, thank you, our dear panelists, for their valuable insights, and to our audience for encouraging with this important conversation. I hope this discussion has inspired you to dive deeper into the world of machine learning and explore how it can transform not just the software you build, but the impact it creates. Sangeeta, Pradeep, Amit, Sridhar, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, sir.
much.
Thank you so much for inviting us. It was a great discussion. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.